This Sunday on Capital Connection, the biggest government union in the state on the verge of signing a new contract under Governor Pritzker.
Our members are not overpaid or overcompensated. The tax dollars that are going into the state for our members to provide the services that they provide are the best spent dollars in the state.
Plus, two different perspectives on what exactly did happen this big, busy legislative session. One from House freshman Republican Mike Murphy at Springfield.
He got a lot of the things that he was wanting to push through.
He voted for the budget and the gas tax increase, but another House freshman Republican, Dan Calkins from Decatur, did not.
I don't trust this government, no.
We talked to both of them, plus our Reporters Roundtable, Bernie Schoenberg from the State Journal-Register and Daisy Contreras from NPR, Illinois. It's all coming up on Capital Connection.
From the Illinois State Capitol, this is your Capital Connection.
Welcome to Capital Connection. I'm Mark Maxwell. A few weeks have gone by since Governor Pritzker landed several big items of his agenda, the House and Senate passing them to his desk. So far, he's only signed two of them, the budget and the abortion bill. Several others still sit on his desk, bills that will make major changes to Illinois. Joining us now for his perspective and insight on what exactly happened in that frenzy that was the final week or two of the legislative session. Grade Governor Pritzker on this whole session. What grade would you give him?
Well, you know, on a grade, I think, you know, if you're looking for his perspective, he has to be very happy. He got a lot of the things that he was wanting to push through.
And from your perspective?
You know, there's some things I'm disappointed in, obviously. You know, the abortion bill was one of them that I was very disappointed in, that we took the direction we did. Progressive income tax, I'm opposed to that and will be opposed to that.
Let me ask you on that, why? Why specifically? We've heard several different arguments.
Sure.
Some of them take different shape. What's your perspective? A business owner, right?
Right. Former business owner.
Former business owner, but you have that perspective. That's
Sure.
part of what you bring to the legislature. What's inherently unfair about people who have more disposable income funding more of the services of state government?
Well, they're doing that currently. You know, less than 1% of the taxpayers are paying 23% of the current income tax.
Are you talking about the federal or state?
No, state. You check it out. 2016.
You're saying because of total volume.
Total
so a person
volume.
who has $1 million
right. And so
spends 4.95% of that on income tax. It's a bigger total number than
right.
the people who have less.
The 2016 stats, the last ones I had, 0.97% of the taxpayer paid 23% of the of income tax. And one of the things I have opposed to it, with the progressive tax, you're going to be able to determine who you want to tax by raising the rates on certain levels. As opposed to now, when you raise the rate, you got to be willing to take it to all the taxpayers. Now you're going to be able to pick and choose on who you want to punish.
But several academic studies have said that Illinois' overall tax structure with a lot of the different use taxes is generally regressive. The people that have less disposable income are paying a larger share per capita of their income to the state.
But, you know, we passed some taxes recently in this last session that are very regressive.
Doesn't that add pressure to consider a progressive model?
So once again, are we going to pick and choose what regressive tax we have? I'm saying that I think that this will hurt job creators. I think it will give us them the opportunity to move out of the state of Illinois, which I think that's happening. I hear that all the time. Some of them, the people I know who have developed some major companies are no longer going to be residents of Illinois, and I worry about the job growth. I really do.
How then do you explain what we see in New York and what we see in California, where they have progressive income taxes, tax rates that are much higher than ours, and their job growth far exceeds Illinois'? How does that happen?
Well, part of it is they're participating in the overall growth of the economy in the United States, where some of the things we've done in Illinois, whether it's workman's comp rates and some other things, have kept us from growing the economy like we should in Illinois. I think, you know, the economy is growing all over the country right now. You have to admit that. And so, you know, that might offset some of the progressive. But, you know, once again, New York has, you know, they've come in shortfall and on some of their projections, and Governor Cuomo has been quoted as saying that he thinks it's because some of the rich are leaving.
And he wants to, right, well, he used a hypothetical instead of if rich leave, we'll have to, but yes.
God forbid, and then the next.
Two different states, a lot of different circumstances and specifics, certainly. But, so what then also did you mentioned some of the regressive taxes. Can you put names on those? I don't want to assume what you meant.
Well, the cigarette tax, you know, that's going to be a regressive tax. The gas tax that we passed for Capitol bill, which I voted for, you know, that affects people with lower income more than it does with higher income.
Certainly. And I want to get into why you voted for that in a moment and some of the projects and things that will pay for. And we can hear from you what some of those projects are. But first, there was a bit of I guess a bit of a rift in the House Republican caucus. A number of members who sent an op-ed, and we're going to hear from one of them here in a moment, who strongly disagreed with raising the gas tax.
I understand.
Do they have a point?
Yeah, well, I understand their point. I also understand that the fact that we haven't had a raise in gas tax since 1990. If it was indexed like it's going to be now, it would be about the level that we're going to put it at. I also understand, I was a member of the Springfield Chamber Board of Directors, and we had a presentation about 5 years ago from Dan Long, who came and told us how bad our roads and bridges were across the state of Illinois. That was 5 years ago, and nothing's been done. We've reached a point that something had to be done. Was I happy with 19 cents? No, but that was the best deal we had. You know, at one point in time, they were talking about 25 cents. I would have liked to seen it closer to 10 to 14, and then indexed to where we would have been raised. I feel comfortable with the fact that we have a lockbox now, so we know that that money is going to be spent on roads and bridges. Wasn't the case 3 or 4 years ago where they would sweep those funds into other things. I'm also very excited about the 6.25% sales tax on gasoline. You know, 5% of that comes to the state, but it was going in general revenue. Now it's going to be phased in to where it will be for roads and bridges, and will be part of the lockbox. I think that's very exciting. We need to take care of our roads and bridges. You know, Illinois being in the middle of the country, we have a lot of advantages, and one of them is our transportation systems, but our roads and bridges is not in condition it needs to be.
All right, we're going to hear from one of your colleagues in the House, also a House freshman, Republican, Dan Calkins from Decatur, when we come back.
Thank you very much, Mark.